welcome back to another Guilty Pleasure Treasure here on McGTV. Gonna be taking a little bit of a deviation with this particular selection because it's not really probably as well known as some of the other entries I've mentioned on this series. While mainstream stuff such as like The Replacements, Sneakers, or Eraser have captured my attention and kind of worked their way into my heart as being these so bad but so endearing little treasures, there's been one relatively obscure martial arts film that has definitely kind of earned a special place in my heart, and that is the 1981 Shinobi Ninja. I remember getting this cassette tape a couple years ago for free, and I was immediately captivated by this killer cover art on the box. I was hoping that the film would kind of echo a little bit of this sentiment in the actual story or in the actual visuals. Kinda, sorta, but you know what? For what it is and for the production value that they were able to pull off with this movie, I appreciate it for, you know, being a dumb, fun, out there action flick. So it starts off actually with some pretty damn good like Japanese illustrations showing off this historic feud between the Iga clan and the Koga clan, and how the Iga wiped out the Kogas essentially, except for like one line of descendants, and that's represented in this film by the character Ken Suzuki, who has been hiding away in Los Angeles as the sole descendant of the Koga clan. But then he's brought back into the mix to join this elite squad of various martial artists and mercenaries that are supposed to gather this intelligence that's never really specified, or it is specified, but it's still very cryptic as to what this intelligence is. If brought to public attention, it will completely dismantle the entire infrastructure of governments around the world. Shocking in this day and age, I know. Ken and various other actors of different ethnicities who are dubbed over are brought in, and quite a few of them get eliminated by very well layered ninja henchmen in blue track suits and blue overalls and blue winter weather sportswear. There's an awesome action sequence in the snowy mountains where you have these blue-suited henchmen with face masks riding down on sleds. And I'm not talking like high-tech sleds or like, you know, snowmobiles or anything of that nature. No, I'm talking about like, remember back when you were a kid and you would take like the garbage lid off of your disposal unit and just ride down the hill on that? That type of sled. Nice flimsy plastic red sleds. You have our characters struggling in the snow, fighting off all these faceless henchmen and getting tossed around, tumbling quite a bit. It all culminates in this action spectacle at the end where Ken faces off against the last like big lieutenant in the Iga clan, and they have a big swordsman duel off as you would in a ninja movie especially, but then also incorporates hang gliding and all kinds of just craziness ensues in this film, and it is a delight. It's definitely low budget. It's definitely, you could tell that they were kind of limited. I'm surprised they were able to get some time in LA, if it was in fact LA they shot in briefly for some of Ken's introduction. But it works for what it is. The stunt work is actually pretty admirable here. Way better than a certain Godfrey Ho production that I also own on VHS. We'll get to it sometime. But no, in Shinobi Ninja, the stunt work is pretty slick. The action sequences, the kicking and flipping, even though there are points where you definitely notice that they don't make contact, it still is impressive that this choreography is this fast-paced and this dynamic. It's a dub, and I'm a sucker for really bad dub. It is kind of hilarious to hear some of the choices the voice actors make for certain characters. Ken Suzuki especially is very interesting, because in order to make the dialogue line up with the actor actually saying the lines in his native tongue, it sounds like he's in a constant state of constipation. There's one point where he's in LA still and he gets dropped off by the guy who's making him the offer to travel to Japan to you know, be part of this team of mercenaries who's going to gather this information. And as he exits the car, he's like, all right, I'll do it. But on one condition. I need to know who to kill. Thanks for dinner. And that's the scene. It is really kind of adorable how they try to make this work for the English audience. There's some pretty good atmosphere at times when they spend time with the Iga, the magistrate, or whoever's running the Iga clan, the modern interpretation of the Iga clan in this film. Whenever they travel to like his palatial estate, and the lieutenant's always, you know, as you'd have in these ninja movies and what I've noticed in anime like Ninja Scroll, you have the lieutenant often in the bushes on his knees, like taking his orders while the guy's feeding his koi fish. The production value, the scope of it at times does work, as opposed to Eagle vs. Silver Fox by Godfrey Ho, which for the majority of it kind of looks like they just shot in a state park. Yeah, if you can find a copy of Shinobi Ninja, I think there's a couple of versions of it online somewhere you can probably look up, or if you're lucky enough to come across a VHS cassette and still have a working VCR, I wholly recommend Shinobi Ninja. This quickly became one of my all-time favorite VHS guilty indulgences. And for the budget I'm sure it had, which was very bare bones, it pulls off quite a bit of its spectacle. Now, granted, you have to balance that out with ninjas going down on red sleds in a snowy mountain, but then you have hang gliding and awesome katana, you know, dueling in the very final moments of the movie, and especially those killer opening illustrations that look very, let's say, Ronin-ish or Miller-esque. Shinobi Ninja, packed chock-a-block full of multicolored martial artists. Hey, speaking of multicolored martial artists, Power Rangers reviews coming soon.